ઊંચાઈ પણ છે. So when we are talking about a three-dimensional place, કયા prepositionની આપણે વાત કરીએ છીએ? We talk about the preposition in. Next slide ઉપર આવીએ. There is a note. I hope, friends, we now remember that notes are extremely important points. They are very important and therefore we have included them as a note. What does this note say? We also use in when we think of a place as an area. કોઈ જગ્યાને એક એરિયા તરીકે જ્યારે વિચારીએ છીએ, that time also we use the preposition in. Let us see a few examples. The children are playing in the garden. ધ્યાનથી સાંભળો. The children are playing in the garden. Garden મિત્રો 3-dimensional નથી. Garden is just 2-dimensional. ત્યાં લંબાઈ છે, પહોળાઈ છે. ઊંચાઈની કોઈ ત્યાં વ્યવસ્થા નથી. So therefore such a place, garden, park, a playground, all these are known as designated areas. They are not 3-dimensional, but they are 2-dimensional. So let's come back to the screen. The children are playing in the garden. My friend lives in Simla. That's another city. City will have length and breadth. So my friend lives in Simla. Remember, friends, therefore, we also use in when we think of a place as an area. Let's come to the next slide and let's see a few more functions. Point number 2 ઉપર આવીએ. We use at when we think of a place as a point. કોઈ જગ્યાને આપણે એક point તરીકે જ્યારે વિચારતા હોઈએ, that time we always use the preposition at. I'm sure my examples are going to make things clear. What does that say? Who is that man at the bus stop? ધ્યાનથી સાંભળો અને ધ્યાનથી જુઓ મિત્રો તમારા સ્ક્રીન ઉપર. Who is that man at the bus stop? Bus stop કોઈ પણ રોડ અથવા એરિયા ઉપર એક પર્ટિક્યુલર પોઈન્ટ દર્શાવે છે. You cannot say who is that man in the bus stop. You cannot get inside a bus stop, can you? So bus stops have to be taken as some kind of a point on a given road, street, કોઈ શેરી કે કોઈ રોડ ઉપર આવતું એક particular point હોય છે. So therefore we construct this sentence, who is that man at the bus stop? બીજો એક દાખલો લઈએ. Sorry. Write your name at the top of the page. Once again, what are we trying to show here? We are trying to show the top of the page as a place which is a point. So, write your name at the top of the page. I hope the use of at is becoming clear. ત્રીજો પણ એક સેન્ટેન્સ છે. Leave your keys at the reception. Leave your keys at the reception. Receptionનો અર્થ શું કરીશું? કોઈ પણ હોટેલમાં તમે જાઓ, there is a separate table where a receptionist sits who has the keys to all the rooms and who has the telephone at her just right next to her. She attends to all the calls and she's the one, or he is the one, the receptionist, who will take down all your name and address when you check in or check out of a hotel. All right. Now leave your keys at the reception. ફરીથી જુઓ તમારા સ્ક્રીન ઉપર. Reception is a point. It is definitely a place. But more importantly, we are thinking of that place as a point. કોઈ પણ સ્થાનને જ્યારે પોઈન્ટના રીતે વિચારીએ છીએ તો we use the preposition at. In અને at આપણે સમજી ગયા. Okay, let us compare in and at. There were lot of people in the showroom. Alright, the showroom 3-dimensional છે. લંબાઈ, પહોળાઈ, ઊંચાઈ ત્રણેય વસ્તુઓ આવી જાય. There were lot of people in the showroom. But take a left turn at the traffic signal. ફરીથી ध्यान આપો મિત્રો. In the first sentence on your screen, we are talking of some people being inside a 3-dimensional place. But in the second sentence, which says take a left turn at the traffic signal, we are using the traffic signal as a point. Can you get inside a traffic signal? Can you get on? Can you climb over a traffic signal? Most certainly not. So therefore, we are using traffic signal as some kind of a point. All right. Let's come to the next slide on our screens. Okay, that is point number 3. અત્યાર સુધીમાં આપણે in અને at વિશે થોડીક સમજણ કરી. Let's come to the third important point. We use on when we think of a place as a surface. કોઈ પણ સ્થાનને એક સરફેસ તરીકે જ્યારે આપણે વિચારતા હોઈએ, that is the time when we use the preposition on. For example, there are 3 sentences within those sentences. He sat on the floor, he sat on the ground, he sat on a chair, he sat on the grass. ધ્યાનથી જુઓ. floor, ground, chair અને grass. આ ચારે સ્થાન તમને એક સરફેસ બતાવે છે. They are signifying or telling us about a surface. In which case, what do we use? We use the preposition on. Many of us also sometimes get confused between on and on top of. When we come, we will explain the difference between the two of them clearly. For the time being, let's come to the next sentence. There is a dirty mark on your dress. All right, there's a dirty mark on your dress. Again, what are we doing here? We are taking dress as a surface. There is a third sentence. There is a notice on the notice board. Thus, notice board becomes a surface જેની ઉપર એક notice ચોંટાડેલી છે, and therefore we call it there is a notice on the notice board. Let's come back to point 3 on your screen. Read it carefully, friends. We use on when we think of a place as a surface. નીચે તમામ તમને examples ત્યાં દાખલાઓ આપેલા છે. He sat on the floor, on the ground, on a chair, on the grass. There's a dirty mark on your dress and there is a notice on the notice board. Next slide ઉપર જઈએ. Okay, we also use on when we think of a place as a line. થોડુંક અહીંયા ध्यान આપો. This is a very important point. We also use on when we think of a place as a line. For example, Ahmedabad is on the river Sabarmati. Now friends, if you are getting slightly confused, કોઈ સ્થાનને આપણે લાઈન તરીકે કઈ રીતે વિચારી શકીએ? I will explain. કોઈ પણ તમે તમારા જ્યોગ્રાફી ભૂગોળના ક્લાસીસમાં if you look at a map, તો એ મેપમાં નદી કઈ રીતે દોરેલી હોય? How do you draw a river on a map? Isn't it drawn with the help of a line? All right. Now the river becomes a place and that line becomes the point. All right. So therefore we say Ahmedabad is on the river Sabarmati. So please make a point here. Again, I'm explaining it clearly. when we are trying to draw a river on a map, કોઈ પણ નકશામાં નદી દોરવી હોય તો એક લાઈન દ્વારા આપણે બતાવી શકીએ. Of course, it's a broken line. It's not a straight line. All right. That is known as thinking of a place as a line. All right. Let's come back to the screen. Let us compare in and on. બંને વચ્ચેનું તફાવત જોઈ લઈએ. There is some water in the glass. Please look at this carefully. There is some water in the glass. But there is a dirty mark on the glass. Mitro, you cannot, friends, you cannot interchange. You cannot say there is some water on the glass and there is a dirty mark in the glass. In is indicating inside. On is indicating on the surface. So this is an important difference between in and on. All right, I hope prepositions are becoming a little clear. Let us see on the screen once again. In અને on વચ્ચેનું આપણે comparison જોયું. Now let us see the comparison between at and on. There is somebody at the door. દરવાજા ઉપર કોઈક છે. There is somebody at the door. There is a notice on the door. I hope the comparison between the two is becoming very clear. ફરીથી ધ્યાનથી જુઓ. There is somebody at the door. કોઈ દરવાજા ઉપર કદાચ knock કરે છે. And there is a notice on the door. We are using door as a point in the first sentence. In the second sentence, that same door becomes a surface. So, please be careful when you are using prepositions like this. Okay, let's come a little forward. In and at for towns and cities. શહેરો માટે આપણે in અને at નો ઉપયોગ અથવા પ્રયોગ ક્યારે કરીએ છીએ અને કઈ રીતે કરવાનું હોય છે એ જોઈ લઈએ. The preposition in is normally used with cities, towns and villages. મોટા શહેરો માટે, નાના શહેરો માટે અને ગામડાઓ માટે. Which is the preposition that we normally use? The preposition is in. All right. દાખલાઓ જોઈ લઈએ. My parents live in Bhopal. What is Bhopal? It is a city. When you are living inside a city, obviously, what is the preposition that you use? In. Let's take the second example on your screen. The Kakaria Zoo is in Ahmedabad. Once again, this is a city. Ahmedabad is a city. And we are talking about something being inside the city. All right, so the preposition in is normally used with cities, towns and villages. Okay, now this is an important point. However, we normally use at when we think of a particular town, city or any place as a point or a station on a journey. All right, please read this carefully. We normally use at when we think of a particular town, city or any place as a point or a station on a journey. I'll give you examples which will make things clear. Our train stops at Jaipur on its way to Delhi. તમે મિત્રો ખાસ કરીને આના સ્ક્રીન ઉપર પ્લીઝ પે અટેન્શન ટુ ધી સેન્ટેન્સ. Our train stops at Jaipur on its way to Delhi. Now imagine, visualize, kalpana karo, from Ahmedabad you are traveling to Delhi by train. Alright, just imagine you're traveling from Ahmedabad to Delhi on a train. Naksha upar, how are you going to show that? You are going to show it with the help of a line. એ લાઈન જે તમે જે તે રીતે દોરશો, one of the points on that line will be the city of Jaipur. Alright, one of the points on that line will be the city of Jaipur. એના માટે, when we are talking about the city of Jaipur as a city which comes on the way between our journey from one place to another, we always use the preposition at. Let us go back to the screen again. Let us take another sentence. We stayed at a small village on the way to Kolkata. Alright, I'll repeat. We stayed at a small village on the way to Kolkata. એક જગ્યાથી ત્યાંથી જર્ની શરૂ કરીને we are going till Kolkata and we are staying at a small village. Again, repeat, look at the note on your screen. We normally use at when we think of a particular town, city or any place as a point or a station on a journey. એક સ્થાનથી બીજા સ્થાન સુધીની તમારી જે જર્ની છે એમાં વચ્ચે આવતી કોઈ પણ બીજી જગ્યા, એ શહેર હોઈ શકે કે ગામડું હોઈ શકે, that is always indicated with the help of the preposition at. Let's come to point number 6. In and at for buildings. અહીંયા માત્ર આપણે વાત કરીએ છીએ શેની? Buildings. In and at for buildings. What does your screen say? With buildings, we can use either at or in. Buildings ની વાત આવે, at અને in બંને prepositions